And here we go. That's right, girlfriend. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my #1 show on my network, the Boba Fett Aftershow here on JLJ Media. I am the JLJ of JLJ Media. Welcome to the show. I'm opening up the chat room so you guys can come on. You guys were asking for us. Come on in. Here we go. The back to tank is ready for you. Come on in. Enjoy. Well, it's actually busy. It's being used right now by somebody, and we'll talk about that. We're talking in the name of honor, Chapter 7, season finale of season 1. Now, of course, I'm not by myself because I'd be boring as F. I'm here with Frank Moran and John Dunphy. How you guys?
Hello. How's it going?
And Frank is fresh because he just finished watching it. So
that's right. right on my eyeballs there. Just wet, still wet on there.
I love it. So we do a little housekeeping, and we are Boba Fett Aftershow here on JLJ Media. You can find us on every single streaming service, and really, you guys have been finding us. So thank you for making my show the show, the #1 show of my network audio. You guys are tuning in, listening to us and our opinions. Thank you to all the Boba Fett Facebook groups and Star Wars Facebook groups, and I guess post that in there. We appreciate it. And we may have some more stuff for you guys coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna have to next week. We have to dissect the whole season, like overall thoughts. We'll wait that till next week. We'll talk about that. So don't worry, we have some stuff coming up for you guys. And May 25th, they announced it today. Obi-Wan Kenobi will be released on Disney Plus. We'll be covering it also. I'm covering every single Star Wars series. So John and Frank will join me again. I'm covering that one also. So that one I'm scared because everybody's waiting for that one. I'm very scared. The poster has my man on it. I'm scared. But the force be with me. Also, my other 2 shows you're watching, listening to also, my Mandalorian After Show, apparently that got a bump up. That's me and Ryan Nielsen. So go ahead and check that out too if you haven't checked it out already. Talking about the Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2. And then also, Darth Vader is Your Father. My podcast where I talk all things Star Wars. It's also hitting. So thank you for listening to that. I talk about all kinds of things like the Ewoks, the Christmas specials, everything crazy about Star Wars, the Mandela effect, all that stuff. All my Star Wars show called Darth Vader is Your Father. And he is your daddy. So everybody, thanks for coming in here. Hello. Yes, it's so overall, boo Grogu. Okay, everybody. overall, this episode, was it everything you needed it to be? Frank Moran. What's going on?
There were some nice moments in there. I don't know. I'm still, as I said, it's still wet in my eyes.
Yeah.
It was some cool elements, but also I felt like empty calories as well.
Ooh. I like that. He gets the bell for that one. Calories, love it. John Dunphy, what are your overall thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't, there were things that I wasn't expecting, but oh my God, I just thought it was. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to get into it more with you guys now. So
he's speechless.
Yeah, I really. Well, it's just. A lot happened.
Yes, we're gonna break down. He's stuttering. While he stutters over there, I'm gonna tell you, I'm kind of in between both you guys. I feel like it was another Mandalorian show on some level, mixed with Boba Fett. So I'm gonna let this digest, and then when we cover the whole season thoughts, then because he just watched it also. I think we get a chance to. I feel like it gave us some stuff we needed to see. Definitely. I was like, okay. And Boba Fett definitely was in it. We're about that this time. Yeah, so we'll bring this break into it. But overall, it was like somebody said, a mini Mandalorian show. It was kind of like that. It was a little bit of that. Guys, okay. All right. You guys enjoyed it? Okay, good. You guys okay, good. Okay. So it opens with right after the sanctuary blow up. And they're in there, and Boba, Fennec, and Mando are there. Mando comes in right. And they're they're not happy. Is that this is going on? I mean, this is happening earlier than they thought. They're not happy. They need those reinforcements. I think they said the word reinforcements 200 times first half of the series. There's reinforcements get it. When we want like something's gonna happen, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway,
it felt like they didn't have any reinforcements at one point,
right.
and then all of a sudden there were just too many reinforcements. Like that was interesting.
Yes. So we're finding Mando's filling him in basically of kind of what happened and what's going on and what things are going on. And the mods want to stay at the sanctuary. They want to stay there. They don't want to go back to that place. They want to stay here, show the peoples that they're part of the peoples. They want to do that. So kind of that's kind of a whole thing there. Excuse me, belch. I just down some food, so I like belching at the moment. That so Fennec's not happy about what's going on. She's like the voice of like, I don't know about that. I don't know. She didn't say that, of course, but I don't know. So we open up there. So we get to that opening scene. We're opening up there. They're kind of talking things over.
Well, I feel like zero mourning for Jennifer Beals.
I know.
Yeah.
Flash dance. She's gone. Bye. That's it.
Yeah. That she deserved better.
Yes, but wait a minute. Were the people there dead, laying there still? When they opened up, when they opened to the scene, was that rocks? I was like, what's laying? Are they laying on the ground still dead?
There could have been bodies around in there.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now that you mention it. Yeah.
You could have went over to her homegirl and said, "There she is. I feel so bad for her in her place." She has some last words like, "I tried." No ending for her. That's it. She's blown to bits.
Yeah.
That's it. But they're assessing what they should do next. Then all of a sudden, Big Hat comes, the music starts, and there's Bane. Okay. And that's an interesting. Oh no, sorry, that's before that. Bane goes over to see the mayor. That's right, he goes to see the mayor first. And the mayor and the Pike Syndicate over there. And they're all shady over there, of course. They're all totally shady. We learned two important points.
Yeah.
The Tusken Raiders were killed by them, by the Pike Syndicate. How do you feel about that little reveal?
Oh, I always had a feeling that there was something more to it. You know, when I think it was that conversation between Boba and Fennec at one point, and he was telling her about what had happened to the Tuskens. And she was like, some speed bikers took out a group of Tusken Raiders. That's doubtful. You know, like she didn't believe it. And that kind of made me feel like, why would she say that? Like, you know, there's got to be something more to this here. And we found out tonight exactly what that was.
Mm-hmm. And they're responsible, well, partially responsible for the bombing. And they were going against Bango. We didn't sign up for a bombing. We just said scare some people, and they didn't say it like that. But they made it sound like it was something. They want something kind of benign to happen, but kind of like make a statement. But I'm thinking, well, a bombing makes a statement. That's the statement. You know, he made a statement. And Bane was like, well, and Bane was like, "And he didn't care." He's like, "Yeah, I did a bombing." Yeah. So you know, Den of Thieves. They don't work well together. Of course, they're not working well together. That's the whole point, right?
I will say what I do love about the casting of the voice for the mayor, though, is that, you know, given the role that he plays, kind of a corrupt public official, you know, you just kind of assume like the kind of voice he may have given movies and TV shows that you watch with a similar character. But it's just such a quiet, soothing, almost pleasant sounding voice. I was digging that choice.
Oh, but he sucks. He's such a worm.
He is.
Yeah, he is. I love it. I love when bad guys are just they're cowards. That's what they are. They're cowards. Yeah. He's hiding everything. You're a coward. I love it. But actually they're all working together. So we didn't even know all that either. So now we're learning that too. They're all working together. So Bane was involved in stuff we didn't even know he was involved in behind the scenes, apparently.
But I did like, I mean, that even he's putting it together. It's like, oh yeah, does Boba know that you guys are the ones that knocked
right out? That's right.
All right, I'll hold on to that little info. Thank you.
Yes. But then But then we're back on our girls' planet, back on whatever planet where Pele Mato, back in the hangar with her droids, and an X-wing fighter comes in. She's like, "Why is it coming in?" It comes in, lands, and who do we see, you guys? His choice was made. Grogu and R2-D2, but Grogu.
When I first saw the X-wing, I was expecting to see Luke for a second. Like,
me too.
I
don't think
but I wasn't surprised not to see him
driving it.
Yeah.
So we got Grogu.
But I love to see him, but I'm a little. I kind of wish. I don't know. That's tough. I want him to be a Jedi too. Part of me was excited about him being a student of Luke. I almost wish they could he could have both, train with Luke, and sometimes when he's got to help out his buddy Mando, he does. I wish we could have that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that Moff Gideon was really hot on getting Grogu. But I mean, it feels like once he went with Luke, the danger kind of abated. But I would think now that he's just back out in the in the world now, it's I think he's still a target for lots of different people in the galaxy that might want him. Yeah. So it seemed weird that Luke was just I don't need to be with you. R2's fine. He's enough of a badass about if anything can happen. Right. Yeah. If you happen to land and Mando isn't there, I'm sure R2 will make sure you're fine.
Right.
Now, how did R2 go back home? I don't know what happened with him. What happened with him?
Yeah.
Wasn't homeboy driving? Did R2 just drive the X-wing back home? I guess I don't.
Yeah. I do. I do like what was Luke doing otherwise? He couldn't bother to go. I mean, there's nobody. He has no other students.
Right. Him. That's what I was thinking. No, Frank. I was thinking the same thing. That's what I'm saying. It was kind of weird. It was kind of nice to see. But it was kind of weird. Just well, what's going on? what's going on over there? What an operation over there? What's going on?
I think this must mean that Luke was real salty about Grogu's choice. He's like, all right, I'm not even gonna drop you off. I'm just gonna put you on autopilot and send you away.
That's right, salty. I love it.
True. Yeah. You're fine. Fine.
I love
Don't let the force kick you on the way out.
I love it. That's hilarious, you guys. Well, he's here, and she's happy to see him, of course. That's her little friend. I was like, you better not try to steal him or whatever, girl. Don't be trying to do that. But she fed him, of course, worms, and that was cute. But I was like, he's wearing the shirt that I call the mesh shirt from the 80s. He's wearing that. The armor. I still think that's international mail from Milan or something in the 80s. I don't know. So we got that. So we learned a choice, Frank. We learned a choice.
But no way he dressed himself. No way. Right? I mean, so Luke not only had to
dress yourself. I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, so Luke had to go yes, you're leaving me because you're choosing Mando, but now I have to dress you too. Oh.
Maybe R2. I bet R2 did that too. R2 put the shirt on him.
I didn't think about that, you guys. It's so funny. I was like, how salty. He Ubered him home. Grogu will sway to the dark side. They're expecting to see Luke also. I know. That was. I guess I said we got our answer, and literally we got our answer for season 3, basically too. As we go further in the story, we got our answer. So I'm actually, when that comes up. Okay, I have some thoughts about that too. If it comes up. Okay, but so now Pele Moto is part of this whole thing too. Now she's gone back again. We're like, okay, she's part of this too. Then they go back to where we are, and Fennec basically again goes over the plan for all of us to listen. It was as we call it in soaps, exposition. It's a little talking to. So it's the mods are here, and the Gamorreans are there, and Chrysanthemum's here. And it was it made me laugh. It's just everybody, here's where everybody is. They're at the Starlight thing. They're over here. They're down here. The workers. So we got everybody's position so that no one, let me say this 10 times, so that no one can sneak in, and we will not know they're coming. No one will not get by us because we have every quadrant cornered. No one will get by.
Yep.
We're all ready. So, how you think that went, kids? A little shocker. And actually, the beginning of 40 minutes of just action. It was literally, I have to say, it was nonstop action. It's like one thing after another. I kind of like that part because at least it kept you going. I mean, I was watching on my big TV screen. I projected mine. It was just loud. I was like, fuck everybody, I'm watching this on a loud TV screen. I don't care if you can hear me. My windows are open. It sounded great. But they do everything about the kitchen sink. So let's go from there. So first we got it kept saying waiting for reinforcements. Okay, there we go. Okay, so first now Bane shows up. Big hat shows up. The music starts. Boba goes out there, and he's going to negotiate on behalf of the Pike Syndicates. Now Boba wants to kill him, of course. He done tied to him. They have their own history, which we know some of us know about, of course, and it plays into a later scene, of course. But he tells them reinforcements ain't coming. He didn't say it like that, of course, but I'm paraphrasing. But he was basically just saying, "You're on your own, and there's no Cobb, nothing's happening, nothing happening here. You're on your own." But Fennec stops him from killing him. And it's okay, and that's it. And then Bane just walks off. Now, all this part, were you just kind of were you thinking something's going to happen? Or what were you guys thinking around that point?
I don't know. I mean, it certainly seemed, I can understand Fennec, being that counsel for Boba. I mean, we figure that the death of the Tuskens and the real party responsible would be a trigger issue for Boba. So it would be easy to anger and get a little sloppy in the moment. So I do like that Fennec was there. It's like, just cool your jets for a second. Let's be smart about it. So you can see why it's, it's a good partnership between the two.
Yeah, I agree. I was nervous. I was very nervous because, the plan, it felt, it just felt like there wasn't enough of them. You didn't really know, I was nervous about it to begin with. And I was just nervous that if Boba made the wrong move at the wrong time, that Cad Bane is trying to bait him. I was very nervous there, but thank God for Fennec, like you said, being able to kind of just calm him down.
Well, calm down for a second. Because all of a sudden the mom's like, something don't smell right.
Yeah.
And they're like, something's off. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Something's really off. And all of a sudden, people started turning up with guns. And next thing we know, it begins 10, 15 minutes of this first part of it, of fight.
Yeah.
I mean, just here we go. I mean, and everybody, they really hammered. Just getting out of, we saw some of the mods die. They didn't even care. They're dead.
Yeah.
Not dead. Nobody cares. And the poor Gamorreans.
I was honestly very upset by this. Very upset. They deserved better. They were good guys. They were loyal. They were the only ones that we had seen right from the beginning. We saw them before the mods, and we know them obviously from previous Star Wars, cinema. Yeah. So it's just they get thrown off a cliff.
You got thrown off a cliff. I feel so sad. It's oh.
This actually upset me. I'm being totally honest.
No, me too. I was they got better death. They got better death scene than Jennifer Beals.
Yeah.
At least they got a little something. They're oh, at least got something. I mean, she didn't get that.
That's true. That's true.
Yes. And Chrysanthemum was pinned down.
Yeah. I felt bad about the Gamorrean guards going. It's it kind of it's easy to kind of throw the cannon fodder away like that.
Yeah,
you want to throw in some some easy deaths, but them getting pushed up against the cliff and then falling over, that's wasn't the coolest fight scene.
Right, at least
come from. I was where did Cliff come from? I don't remember. I'm like, is it all desert land or whatever? I'm like,
they were pushing him for a really long time.
They were like,
really long time.
And go. Yeah. Like, oh, okay, I'm going. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you never really saw them like fight back at all.
No?
Yeah, like at least if they went out like fighting, but just that was a rough way to go.
Yes. So and the surviving mods get help from Fennec. Of course, she swoops in badass. Has a cute kind of manners. I like that. Whole thing. So Boba and Mando have a little talk. Hence the title of the episode is said in the dialogue. Mando's not leaving. And the dialogue says, we will both die in the name of honor.
I don't know what it is about this season. For the most part, it just seems like all the good guys were were kind of chumps when it comes to fights. Like Chrysanthemum gets, he just gets, walked over by those dudes. I'm like, oh man, I'm looking for this guy to be like off the chain now. Let's see him go.
Yeah.
Get swallowed up in a dog pile. I feel like Fennec was the only one that was different. Like Fennec, pretty much every scene she was in, whipped ass.
Yes,
yeah.
I agree.
Then she disappears for the longest time. She's just gone.
That was weird too.
There was a huge battle that went on for a long time, and we didn't see nothing of her.
I thought that was weird. Also, I'm like, I don't.
Well, she went off at one point, right? She left. She has to go. Well, I don't know. I don't want to jump ahead in the if we're moving along chronologically here, but we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, but it was weird because like after she rescues the mods,
right?
She goes, and as James says, kind of gives like the nice like, I like your manners, thanks so much, and then just takes off.
Right.
It wasn't until the next time we see her, I'm like, oh yeah, she was in this episode.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was like they're almost like we gave her too much in the other one, so let's give So our buddy, the major domo, of course, it makes you laugh, says, I will negotiate with the Pikes, I guess. Well, I would negotiate with them. And Boba puts it in a little tablet. They call him Tailhead, which I thought was very funny. But basically, on the tablet, he basically was like, kiss my ass, basically. I'm not gonna, you guys. And literally, it's all of a sudden you see shooting out in the back. Boba and Mando. How you like that? How you like that?
I loved it.
It's like killing people.
It was just, I mean, they're such badasses. It was so cool to see them up there in the air shooting down at these guys, and then they come down, and obviously, just wave after wave from the Pikes is coming. But even when they're starting to get overtaken at times in the beginning, you see them. They still have all their little tricks, the missiles and everything that they're using. Yeah. So cool. I really enjoyed this scene, and it was just eventually they started to, I guess, it was too much. So they just kept coming.
Well, that's when the Freetown folks show up. The tank. I tell you, it was like the whole kitchen sink was coming. All of a sudden they came around the corner. It was that corner. Everything was around the corner. So then they came around the corner and started helping out. And so, but they made it sound like Cobb was dead. I thought. Yeah. I went, no. No. They actually killed him. Like, no, they can't.
And that's another.
Oh, right.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say that's another person that I feel like deserves better way to go.
Right. And I wrote down, oh my God, Cobb is dead.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of those. Cobb Vanth.
You can't kill him. And then the mods come.
Yeah. I don't know, because certainly Freetown, not a huge town. So I mean, him going for reinforcements, I mean, I shouldn't have expected a huge number. I was like, there's not a lot of people in this town, so the number's only not going to be huge. But of course, the way, as we've talked about already, they kept saying reinforcements. You're expecting this is going to be like a tidal wave of people really coming to put the Pikes down. And then just this little vehicle shows up. I'm like, that's it? That was it?
It was like a dozen people.
Around the corner. They came around that corner. That's right.
That's our reinforcements? All right.
Frank, that's your reinforcements. That's what you get.
All right. Yeah. Trust and believe.
That's exactly. That's right. Exactly. That's what you get, Frank. And then the mods come, the ones that are left over. Again, we won't see Fennec because Fennec I thought Fennec would come with them, but it was just them. They came back. So now they're all and then all of a sudden, around the corner again, Frank, bodies are being tossed.
Yeah.
And there's the chrysanthemum coming this way. Coming in.
Wow.
But he got all messed up. Dang.
Yeah. But what I did like about that is that, I mean, it does show that Boba's, he's right there with you on the loyalty. It's like, hey, if you're showing up for me, I'm gonna show up for you. So when he goes out and grabs him, brings him in, I was like, all right, yeah, good man.
Yeah. Well, we ain't done. It's like, so you think that's all, whatever going on. So they all like, we did it. We got them. It's slowing down. They're finally doing it. I was like, something's going on. We can't be done yet. I watched enough of these TV shows and movies. I can't be done just like that.
Right.
And what do we see, John? We see 2 Annihilator droids around that corner again. I would close off that corner for the rest of my life. I don't want to see none of that's closed off, caution tape, whatever. We're not walking through that anymore. But all of a sudden, with shields coming out, and coming at two huge ones coming at them. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I hated fighting those like in the Phantom Menace PlayStation game. Those droids with those shields. So these souped up versions, oh, man.
Weren't they also in the Clone Wars too?
Yes.
They were. Definitely were. They're familiar to me. That's so funny you played with the game.
Oof.
You couldn't get rid of them, John. You couldn't get rid of them.
They were just,
saber didn't work, nothing worked.
These things were nasty. And just enormous. These things.
And then ran to Boba. You ran out of friends, didn't you?
I don't know. Any device that throws a force field around itself, I'm already like, this is gonna suck. This is really
right. So they start running. And we ain't done either. So we go around the corner and they're running. And who do we run into? Palomino on some little rickshaw with her droids. And I'm like, where? She's like, oh my God, so happy to see you. He's like, turn around.
Perfect timing.
Turn around. And then it's like, there's Grogu.
Yeah.
Now, I have to say, I had a little tear in my eye a little bit when he picked him up and they hugged. And he said, I miss you. I've missed you too, little friend. Like, oh my God. I got a little excited. I did.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you feel? They had the reunion. So how do you guys feel about that? He had a reunion.
I thought it was very nice. And of course, it happens just like, they're always on adventures, right? So how do they get reunited? They get reunited while being chased by a giant Annihilator droid. So it was very fitting.
And for sure, I mean, I did like that Mando was like, oh, hey, they gave you the shirt. Like he was not expecting. I feel like he was not expecting Ahsoka or Luke. They're just gonna like dump it in the lake and never show it to Grogu. And he's like, oh, they actually gave it to you. All right.
Yeah.
And then they get blown out of it. I laughed so hard when they were like, I couldn't stop laughing. And homeboy, like the Super Bowl, was like, I'm going to catch Grogu like a football. And he caught him. I laughed. I'm sorry, I chuckled. That scene made me laugh.
Yeah. I just loved how you see him go flying to catch Grogu, while you also see Amy Sedaris just go flying and she ends up losing a tooth.
It's hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. I didn't have much time to get teary. There's too much Jackson. I got a little teary. I got a little teary. It was cute. But okay. But then here we go. I thought of Frank Moran. I was like, I'm gonna have Frank. You can say everything stops. Frank, they gave this for you. They gave this for you. Everybody stop. Everybody look up. Here's something our way. And then what did we see, Frank Moran?
Yeah, you just see those little rancor fingers coming over the sides of the buildings, and you're like, all right, it's going down. This is going down.
So was it what you needed to be, Frank? Were you excited about this part?
I was, and it was one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I was. How is he going to ride it? Is he going to stand on the head? This is kind of more like just like a sitting thing. I was incredibly fascinated the technique that you used to ride a Rancor. So this answered the questions I had. Absolutely.
I knew what was coming and I was terrified. Like I knew what it was going to look like, but the Rancor, it looked so the best a Rancor has ever looked, like that Rancor looked fantastic.
And I have to admit, I had, given the way that the show could go, I had no idea if the Rancor would survive or not. I was 50-50 on if it was going to get killed. But I'm glad that it did not.
I was so happy for you, Frank. I really was. I was like it's your show. I was like, they gave Frank, because Frank, you watch this, you listen to watch the show all season. He was like, was waiting for him to write the Rancor. And you said he has to, and if there's a final battle, he would have to write it. You actually said it, documented on the show. You said it. And I forgot about him. I totally forgot about him because they're just giving action. I was like, wait a minute. First of all, where's Danny Trejo?
Yeah.
He should have been riding in there as well. Hey, I'm here too.
Like hiding under something on the ground. Like, he wasn't up there.
And they didn't hide away from it because it was one of those where you could introduce it, looks cool for a moment, and then it gets taken out. And you're like, oh, all right, nope. They let this guy run roughshod all over those 2 Annihilator droids, and it was great.
Yeah, it was the bomb. It was the bomb because when he got rid of the shields, then he used the Darksaber cut part of one of them, and went back and forth and went to crazy, went to town. But meanwhile, while that's going on, we have all the mods mixed with the Freetown folks. And 2 of the ladies come together. First, they don't like each other at first, the usual thing. And they come together, go on the roof, they assist everything. So literally, we get it. It's all they kill all the killers, they retreat, and hope that the things are done. We ain't done yet.
Because the one cheesy thing about the mods,
yes,
it's like, of course, we got to make sure, guys, everybody know that they're mods. Don't forget that they're mods. So when it shows a shot of the 2 girls, 2 women running up on top of the roof, and we can see, we see him look up, and we cut to the shot of them just going up. Then we have to cut back to the mod so he can reach out and use his eyepiece.
Yeah.
Zoom in on them, you know who it is. Why do you need to zoom in?
Because Frank,
because
Frank is an actor, and that's his big moment. So don't deny him his big moment, Frank. It's an eyepiece. He has to all day long on set.
Of course. I was like, what a wasted scene that was. But right.
So did the Rancor get bigger, they say, when we saw it? The fans are asking that.
He's look at all that food that Jala has in that, or that Boba has in the palace that nobody's eating.
Yeah.
That Rancor's, living the good life.
Oh yeah.
He was. But we ain't done. We ain't done. And the Rancor goes rogue. So he's off doing his own thing. I see that coming. But then Bane shows back up. It was like Bane was like, I'm over here, and I'll wait to see what happens, see how it all plays out, and then I'll come back out. So he takes the fireball and takes it. The Rancor doesn't like that apparently, and the Rancor goes off. So it's Boba versus Bane. History versus history, which was brought up a little bit in there when he says, I'm not a little boy anymore, and you're old. I'm like, ooh, ha, 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 ha. I can't go home. But he goes, but I'm still faster. I was like, all righty. So a little sassiness, a little shade happening between the 2 of them. And apparently he is faster. He shoots Boba in the arm. So this whole scene at first, I was like, really? Boba's gonna get hurt again? Like, it's like he called him soft. And he goes, you get soft, we all get soft earlier. That's why he said something like that. Almost like saying to the fans, yeah, I know you're thinking the same thing, but it's what we all do. But Boba is showing, this is my city. This is my place. I am not going to go down without a fight. And then just when he thinks he's about to hit the gun on him, Boba gets in there, gets back up like a good wrestling match, and then stabs the F out of him.
Oof.
I was
So,
underwhelmed, gentlemen. I was underwhelmed.
oh, you're underwhelmed. Okay.
You bring in Cad Bane in, which is awesome. So jazzed to see him in live action.
Yes.
But we've also seen Boba be pretty much a chump. I mean, he had a couple of good moments here in this episode, but in terms of the fighting season, it's been pretty lackluster. So I thought, all right, he's got to have really a moment to shine where it's just him against somebody else, and who better than Cad Bane? So I was really wanting this. Like, we saw so many stinking shots of that robot chasing, all the reinforcements. So many shots of that. I would have loved a few less of those and devoted more time to this fight between Boba and Cad Bane, because it was kind of a dud of a fight, and it, I don't know. I mean, it was a bummer that Cad had to die, but I mean, I feel like when you have two characters like this, it's unlikely that one of them's, neither are gonna, both can't walk away. Somebody's got to go. But I don't know. I just felt kind of let down by this fight. I don't know how you felt.
John?
After hearing you say that, I actually do agree with you. I think that, and I understand it. Like, I still enjoyed it because I really liked seeing Cad Bane more in this episode, and just the reveal of how the Pikes were behind the Tuskens' demise, and then Cad Bane sort of using that to try to bait Boba later on, and kind of rubbing it in his face, the whole thing. And then seemingly, Cad Bane has Boba up against the wall, and, Boba ends up using that weapon that he got from the Tusken Raiders. And I thought that was nice. And that's, what he stabbed him with. But I, at the same time, I do agree with you that I wish that, like you said, we had so many shots of the mods and the people from Freetown being chased by these robots. Like, this is the book of Boba Fett. There were 2 whole episodes this season where he was barely in it. He definitely should have had more, and this fight should have had more. I agree with you.
Well, because my other thing too is, I don't know, they want to add a little bit of a psychological element. I mean, with Cad and Boba, like, oh yeah, I knew you were still a killer, and really kind of trying to drive home about him turning soft about his time with the Tuskens. And I mean, I just feel like the unfortunate thing is that I felt like we never really dived deep enough into how Boba felt coming out of that. Like, we knew it happened to him, but we never really got to see him really sink in and tell us how he felt. I mean, he was a very, at a remove. I felt like the show did, just chose not to really dive very deeply into Boba and kind of keep him at a distance from us on some of these things. So I felt like this at the end, I just wanted like a huger, like, cathartic moment between the two of them, especially for Boba, to really feel like, yes. And the show just didn't get me to that point.
Yeah.
So part of the problem, and when we do the season overview, we'll talk about it more. I think part of the problem was 2 episodes he wasn't in it.
Yeah.
I just think there's something about it. There's a bunch that we were wanting to see Boba really in this episode. Like, we want to make sure we see it. We did. We saw a lot of them. I mean, way more than the last 2 episodes. We saw a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like I hope there's documentaries something on this, because I'm really curious about the decisions to have those 2 episodes be Mandalorian episodes. Because I feel like the beginning of the season was a lot about finding out about him and what's going on, the development of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And then it felt stunted. So like you said, at this big finale, there are things that probably, if we had him in those 2 episodes, maybe more would have been felt. Maybe something we could add more. I mean, you're right. And this episode had scenes of everybody, not just Boba. It's all about, and it's like, well, we want to see Boba. That's what we're here for. And I don't know. I'm very curious about the decision about the how and why is how to do this, because I feel like it did disservice to Boba and his character. Because you're right, Bane and Boba are 2 major characters, but like I said, lots of history. And so it just kind of, I mean, I enjoyed it so I'm kind of like with both you guys. I enjoyed bits and pieces of it, but but then again, is he really dead?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
We've seen people get cut in half, and
Yeah, come back.
and come back. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm fine with him being dead. I just wish the battle between the two of them have kind of just led up to like a better moment for Boba and a better death for Cat.
There you go. Well, we ain't done, folks, because the Rancor's still loose. So, climbing things, eating ships, they're taking bites out of ships. And Mando tries to rein him in. And he tries to eat Mando. He's always coming in there trying to eat him. Like, why are you trying to eat him? But he tries to shoot fire in his mouth, which of course is down. But anyway, Grogu uses the Force to soothe Frank's Rancor. And then says, shit, I'm tired. We both fall asleep.
Boy, the show wasted zero time in jumping back into the old pattern.
Yeah.
Grogu, just it's like we get him reunited and we immediately see how it goes. He eats. We got to make sure we got him to eating. We got him using his Force powers, and we got him taking a nap because it was too much for him. So we got them all. We got them all this episode, everybody.
But it's so weird. Again, it's weird because it's Boba Fett show. Like, should have been
right.
Should have been Boba. I mean, should have been somebody. I mean, even Chrysanthemum. I mean, somebody, anybody who's from the show. But it's Grogu.
Uh-huh.
Grogu did it. So,
because it also feels like, in a way, I mean, I don't know exactly how long he was with Luke on that planet. I mean,
right.
Only given at least a little bit of training that we saw in the prior episode. I mean, it didn't seem like he had made a ton of progress with him.
Yeah.
But I at least wanted, when he and Boba get reunited, that if he does use the Force powers again, that he's leveled up even just a little bit. So like maybe he doesn't pass out, after doing this. Maybe he actually does stay awake this time, because he's got a little bit more control over the Force powers. But no, it just like it always is. I'm like, all right. I guess I have to just wait and see what happens in Mandalorian season 3 to kind of see what to do from there.
Would have been nice if he calmed the Rancor down and then like turned to Mando and just gave him a little smile or something instead of falling asleep. Like
yes. And I will still say that robe is ridiculous, and it is so impractical to walk around with. Come on.
You don't like your robe? You don't like your robe. It's too big.
Like if you walk around in a potato sack all the time. And it's never, it's just kind of unwieldy. You gotta walk slow and to take your time. It's like you can change or other way. Lots of other clothes in the galaxy. Lots of other clothes.
It's a big galaxy.
It is.
There's a lot of designers out there, and
I'm like, okay. But just when you think we're done, we're not, of course, because where Frank was wondering, where's Fennec?
Mm-hmm.
We see the comeuppance of the mayor and the Pikes and the Get leader by way of Fennec killing them.
How do you guys feel about that? Like the way that I wanted to see. Do you feel like Boba should have been the one that had that moment?
Yes.
The head of the Pike.
Yes.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that.
And so I was honestly surprised when it was revealed to be Fennec standing there. Like, what? Yeah. Oh, all right. I mean, it makes sense. Who knows where she was this whole? Like, that's where she was the whole rest of the episode after she took off from the mods. Like, just hiding out in this building with the rest of them.
It's like it could have been.
I think she had to go to Mos Eisley, because at one point, Boba asked, I think, the Major Domo, like, do the Pikes still operate in Mos Eisley or whatever? And then they got him to say it. And there was a comment like Boba said, do you think you can get there in time? And she was like, worth a shot. Yeah. She took off running.
Okay.
Well, it certainly was worth that shot.
Yeah.
Yes. And even if it was both of them, like she killed the mayor, he killed the Pikes and the Get leader, then it would have been more satisfying for me.
Yeah. I wish it had been him. They were the ones that took out his new family.
Yes.
He should have been there for that.
I agree. We're all in agreement on that one.
And it feels like they dealt like a pretty resounding blow to the Pikes, at least that were on Tatooine. So after when Fennec reveals herself, and then she kind of slinks out of the room. Why? Everybody, they're all dead, right? Why are you slinking? You can just walk out. Yeah, nobody's gonna give you a hard time.
The chat says yes, John is right.
Right.
I always operate by that philosophy. John is always right.
That's
We both
rarely true. Rarely true.
He's right. He's right. And then all of a sudden, it's like idyllic world again. Everything's back to normal. And it's just Fennec and Boba walking the streets, almost holding hands. They weren't holding hands. Walking the streets. People are bowing to them, offering him goods. He ain't used to it. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, really? That's the ending? You should go to the back to tank. It's already being used. I'm like, keep that in mind, James. Keep that in mind. Put it over here. I was like, James, make sure you watch all the credits. Put it over here. But I guess everybody, the mods have their piece of the pie, and Christina is doing his thing, and everything's right in the world, I guess, on there now. I mean, it's
all it was missing was a just a little freeze frame of them all laughing at the end.
Oh my God! Well, you saw that shot where they're pulling out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why does he get a one and we don't? Well, that's like you and Christina. Do you want to share?
Freeze frame.
Well, do you think so? They were having that conversation, right? They walked down the street and they threw the fruit to Chrysanthemum, and they said that I remember Boba saying like, "We're not suited for this," and Fennec said, "Well, if not us, then who?" And they kind of showed the mods and Chrysanthemum, and I'm wondering if that's a setup for like season 2. You know, the mods and Chrysanthemum are gonna hold things down on Tatooine while Boba and Fennec go on adventures with Mando.
Mando, there you go. I would not be surprised.
Right.
I'm like, ugh. But when they were pulling out, I was like, are they gonna start playing some 90s song? Kiss me, love me, say that you love me. Like some weird rom-com. I'm like, just pulling out. I was like, that's the ending of that. But no, we ain't done there either. We could just end it right there.
Yeah.
Now we're in the galaxy. In the N1. No. Okay. So there's a little smile. There's Grogu and Mando, and they shoot off into the sunsets. Well, why not sunset? Into the galaxy set or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Mando probably did that himself. He was like, "Oh, hey, I got to show you this really cool thing that the ship does." Grogu did it once, thinking that it's like, I'm going to really impress him, and now he's regretting it because all Grogu wants to do is just keep hitting that accelerator button. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was like, so now basically, he's on. So basically, I guess Grogu's in season 3. And if you're wondering what was going to happen, I'm surprised. I thought for sure he wouldn't be in season 3. I just thought, I know he's a popular character, but I had a feeling he'd show up somewhere else or some other shows, maybe make an appearance. Yeah. But I'm like, it sounds like he's going. They're back to normal again.
Yeah, I was surprised that we got them to be reunited before season 3 even started.
Right.
But now that we have it, I'm excited to see. I'm very glad to see Grogu in that little pod, and I'm excited to see what he adds to it. And he's going to make it his little apartment.
His apartment.
Put some pillows in there and stuff,
I don't know. I'm just
stickers.
I don't know. I'm just like, again. Luckily, we watched both shows. I feel bad for those who didn't want to watch Boba Fett. Now they have to actually watch these 3 episodes to get all their goods for that.
Yeah.
Season 3.
But although I feel like if you like The Mandalorian, I mean, this wouldn't be such a huge stretch.
I think it is. Now that we watched it, I think it is. Now that we watched it, I think it is. I think it's very different shows.
True, but even if you wanted to just jump in with the episodes that Mando first showed up in, so what? Episode 5.
Yeah,
and just watch those through.
And if you're only watching because of The Mandalorian, it's an easy sell because you literally only see The Mandalorian and no Boba Fett. Yeah. So.
And then after had the main credits, you see our buddy, the mods, and it is Cobb Vance in the back of the tank.
Just hanging out. Yeah, I guess blaster shots, they're lethal, but it's like the slow kind of lethal. I mean, Bob was able to get Fennec all the way across the desert to the mod doctor. I mean, they Boba and Fennec and all the rest of the Freetown people had this huge battle in Mos Espa for a while before they went and got Cobb. So yeah, clearly, it's not so bad getting hit with a laser blaster in the Star Wars universe.
I'm glad he's alive.
Yeah. For sure, absolutely.
I was very glad he's alive. I was okay, good. I like that character, and Homeboy does a great job. He's a great job.
It was a very pleasant surprise because of what I thought had happened.
Who do you think was the bank detective? Who do you think it was? I knew somebody was in there, but who do you think it was?
Well, I wasn't sure. Sure. Yeah, I just was not sure. Because at one point, I remember during the whole battle with how banged up Chrysanthemum got too. He had made that comment like, "Oh, you can get into my back to tank when we get back," or whatever.
Yeah, he did say that.
So,
I will be curious to see like what is modded on Cobb, because he was like hitting the shoulder. So is it just like his shoulder?
Just a plate. just a little door.
They have the technology, guys. They have technology. Bionic shoulder. I'm ready. Bionic soldier. I'm ready. All my references go back to the bionic man, bionic woman. I love it. So
I could lift up a couch. Oh man.
I could tear a phone book in half, okay? When homegirl bionic woman tears up that phone book in half, I was in love with her. I was like, I'm in love with you, Lindsay Wagner. That phone book. I tried tearing a phone book in half, and you can't do it.
I mean, she hit him for a while.
Now you can't find a phone book. Now you can't find a phone book. Phone book. Like, what's that? Yellow Pages. What's that? Yes, but yeah, I tried to tear that phone book in half, but I couldn't do it. She could. That's an old reference, folks. You guys may not be old enough. That's an old reference. But no, Mando is a soloist. They're excited to see Grogu back with Mando. Was that end credit a sneaky peek to Obi-Wan? At the very end? I don't think so, was it? I don't think so. I think everybody was waiting for one, but I don't think they did that. They didn't do anything towards Obi-Wan. No.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like that's Bandos not too far in the future for Obi-Wan reference, I think.
Yeah, Obi-Wan is too far. Yeah, there's nothing there for that. But I think, again, May 25th is when it actually comes on our screens. We will be covering it here on JLJ Media. Trust me, that one for sure we'll be covering. But I'm scared, you guys.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm so nervous. I can't wait.
The hype is up. The hype is up. Yeah. It has to be. Frank, come on, reassure us, Frank. Reassure us.
It is, because I mean, if you look at like Andor too, which I mean, I'll watch for sure.
Yeah.
But like the enthusiasm for that is much lower than it is for Obi-Wan.
Right, and they also they agreed to season 2 of Andor. It hasn't even aired yet. I was like, that's kind of weird. I mean, I guess they saw the first season. They think it's that good. I guess maybe they think it's that good. I'll be covering that too. I'll be covering that also. I'm covering all of them.
I mean, I feel like that's going to be a show that's going to have more ties to the bigger Star Wars universe, just because Andor is just a character that I don't know hasn't been around as long and doesn't have as deep ties into the mythology. So I feel like it's an easy one to.
Well, the problem is though, we know how it ends because Rogue One. It ends. It's a prequel.
Yeah.
So we know how it ends in the end. I mean,
there's going to be a lot of good stories though. A lot of good stories. I'm so interested to see some of the things when he would say like we've all done terrible things. Because of this great cause that we believe in, we've been forced to do these things, and we're going to get to see those things.
Hopefully.
Well, and the nice thing is, like, even though we know what happens with Andor, and even if that happens to until Rogue One, I feel like the show would be smart to kind of place characters around him that we get involved with and relate to, and any of those can get killed at any moment that we don't know about.
And Frank, that's so smart of you to think of that. And I hope they do something like that. Again, it makes me nervous.
I've been talking to Tony Gilroy. I mean, you know.
Oh, okay. You got it covered. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tony, let me tell you.
Frank has inside track apparently, you guys. I had no idea. Okay.
Right.
I'm still nervous, but I'm hoping. But I'm gonna cover all of them, folks. I'm covering all of them. I'm just saying. I just hope it's to have Ewan and Hayden back should be very interesting. My man.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be hot, so I'm very excited. So I mean, I just hope hope they're good, Frank, John. Hope they're good. That's my man, my daddy. Yeah, big daddy right here, big daddy. That's right. You can trust and believe, Frank. I'm ready. Ready for some big daddy on the screen.
That's right.
Daddy, homeboy, right here. That's your daddy. He's gonna bring it back. He's gonna bring it out. I want to see Darth Vader be mean. I want to see him be mean.
Yeah.
I'm ready. But yes, I don't know. But so folks, next week we're gonna do our overall thoughts of the season. We're gonna let this all germinate and digest in our brains. And we're gonna come back and just talk about what we think about this whole season in general. Because I have some ideas of what I'm thinking already, but I'm gonna let it sit for a week. And then it's kind of like see how I feel. And then we're gonna talk about it. It's kind of about the whole season overview, just kind of what we think. Because this is I'll have to say, this is one of the strangest seasons of a show that's supposed to be about one person.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the best way I could put it. It's just again with those episodes.
Yeah. There were a lot of main characters for a show that's named after one guy.
Yes. I mean, crossover galore. It was crossover.
And even if Boba appeared in the majority of most of the episodes, because the end of the season was so Mando heavy, it felt like Mando was the real star of the show by the end of the season. He got the last shot of him and Grogu flying off.
I know. It's so weird to me, but yes, we'll talk about that next week, of course. Thank you, John. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Thank you for watching us. And those of you guys who are listening to us, thank you for listening, making it the #1 show on my audio shows. I appreciate it so much. I do. We love talking about the Star Wars universe. John Dunphy, tell them, because you got a podcast going on right now. So tell me where you can find you.
Yeah. So right now I'm doing a podcast with two of my very good friends, Gina Morgino and Kyle Petty. We do a podcast called Jury Duty, a Big Brother podcast, and Celebrity Big Brother's on right now. So we're covering that definitely Wednesday nights and Monday nights. You can find us at BB Jury Duty on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me at JDun89 on Instagram and Twitter as well.
Check him out. He's a very good singer and piano player. You take requests. No,
of course.
No, I know. You know what song I'd be curious for you to sing? Because you sing them sometimes. And Simon and Garfunkel, you sing it sometimes. I would love for you to do Scarborough Fair.
Love that one.
It's a tough one, though. I know it's a tough one. But you did Bridge or Trouble. While you did come over, I'm a huge Simon and Garfunkel fan. But if you could do that one,
all right.
Yes, be a challenge. Frank Moran, I do the GHB Spotlight, my other #1 show on this network. They like you, Frank. They really like you.
No, I'm your personal good luck charm, James.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna join all my shows now, Frank. Every single show. Join all of them.
I got plenty of takes to go around. John, I assume you'll be covering the next season of Tough as Nails as well.
I have not seen that show before. I've seen many ads for it. Many ads on Paramount Plus. So many ads for that show. But isn't Homeboy hosting it? What's his name?
Phil Kogan?
Yeah. Phil, yes, from Amazing Race. I was like, okay, I never watched it either, but I've seen commercials for it also.
When you think Tough as Nails, you think Phil Kogan.
All right, tell them where they can find you.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. I once went to a little weekend, hey, how to improve yourself, hosted by it was under Phil Kogan's auspices there.
Really?
And it was one of the goofiest weekends of my life. So, yes. Basically, just one little thing is that every 10 minutes or so, they would bring up a slide It would say energy, and they'd make you get out of your seats and hit beach balls around. That's just a small slice.
Wow.
So,
And now Frank is the host of the most.
That's right.
Changed your life, didn't it, Frank?
That's right.
It changed your life. Oh my God. Now Frank has all these beach balls on the side of it. We don't see them. Here we go. And I'm where all James News can be sold at James Lott Jr. So on social media platforms. JLJ this morning is my cute little show I do in the mornings live. I rant for like an hour. So you want to join me for coffee and ranting? Join me in the mornings here on JLJ Media around 9 o'clock in the morning. That's whenever I feel like it. But 9 o'clock when my hair is crazy, I have look in my eyes, but we're talking about all kinds of issues in the morning. It's Frank's getting crazy. People come on. You don't know who's going to stop by in the chat. So fun. John's at work, so he can't join us. He's already at work already. We'll have fun. And also, we're doing the And Just Like That after show tomorrow. Me and Emily Mahaler at 5 p.m. We're doing a documentary. We're covering that. So that's going to be very interesting. They're going to explain to us why they did what they did. So that's going to be very...
Any explanation that would be good?
I haven't watched yet. I'm going to watch it tonight. So I don't after Big Brother. So I'm going to watch both of those tonight. So I don't know yet. Watch tomorrow and find out if it's any good or not. That's the answer right there. It's Frank's answer right there. I have no idea. But we're going to see because the season finale, we saw where they cut out Chris Noth. You can tell where they cut him out. And see.
Oops.
Yeah, oopsie. Big. He was not in there where he's supposed to be. So that's all another story. But as me and Emily Mahaler at 5 p.m. And also tomorrow night, and on a serious note, at 7 p.m. on my Extra Connection show, where I'm going to talk about race. I've been talking about race all month for Black History Month. Me, Evan Mack, Walker Ragsdale, and Adam Woods. We're talking, I call it Black Talk. We're going to talk about Black things. So join us at 7 p.m. live tomorrow night on Extra Connections. Trying to change the world one Black at a time. Everybody have a great weekend. Great week.